Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Investing Bros. It is May 30th, and it is still the year 2023. We got a great show lined up for you guys today. First of all, I am back after a good week of being off with our new baby, Brody. I am back. So excited to be back on the show. But shout out to T-Shroom and Piper holding it down last week. Did a phenomenal job. But it is always great to be back. We had a lot to talk about here because we have to talk about Cardano's great week that they just had, and not necessarily on the charts. They did have a nice little rally on the charts, but we're talking even about the fundamentals of the project. Cardano had itself a great week, and some of that was sparked by the rise in meme coins. Now, I know it. There's some of you guys already even in chat saying, what's the hype about meme coins? What are they even for? Some people hate them. Some people love them. But they were a part of a great week for Cardano. We're going to be talking about that and a whole lot more. Bitcoin at another key decision point as well. And of course, as most of you know, when Bitcoin makes moves, the rest of the crypto space likes to follow. So it's always important to keep up to date on that. And potentially the biggest thing that happened this past weekend, because you have not seen a show since last Friday, was the agreement of the debt ceiling deal. We're going to talk about that because it's very, very important when it comes to what happens now with the Fed, what happens with your Bitcoin, and what happens with that fiat currency you mine every single day at work. Make sure you don't go anywhere. Go ahead and smash that like button if you are loving this show. We are the Investing Bros, the most generous crypto community out here on YouTube. I am joined by two phenomenal co-hosts, starting off with the Florida man, Mr. T-Shroom. T-Shroom, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing better than I deserve, Tim, and that may surprise you, but it is how I'm doing. So that's how I will report. I've got a great quote for you here this morning. It's good to have you back on the show, Tim. And the quote, oh goodness, let me make sure that everything is in order here. Thank you, Piper. All right, the quote is ready now for the viewing of the people on the interwebs. Someone asked me if I were stranded on a desert island, what book would I bring? How to Build a Boat. And that's a quote from Stephen Wright. It's a nice little funny quote there to start our week off. It's not Monday, but it is Tuesday, and it's the start of our week here in North America. We're celebrating Memorial Day. Well, I guess United States are Memorial Day, celebrating. I don't know if they celebrate. I doubt it. I doubt that they celebrate. It's a military holiday, so it's a U.S. exclusive.
I am sure that there are other military holidays in other countries. If you guys are from a different country, shout out in chat some of the military days that you guys celebrating. Notice right here, guys, I got a nice little alfalfa thing going on with my hair.
It's cute.
If you think it's cute, let me know. We're gonna rock with it the rest of the show. All right, got like two of them left. But we're gonna go ahead and introduce our other host. That is Mr. Army Piper running the board. Piper, how are you doing?
Brother, can't complain. I can't complain. I had a nice long weekend, digging in, trying to figure out what's going on with the markets, and I'm glad to be here. So I'm glad you're back, though. I'm glad you're back, Tim. That's what I'm glad about. So
I am very, very glad to be back again. It was a great week off. Spent a lot of time with Brody and Taylor, but I'm also glad to be back here with all of you guys. And speaking of you guys, it is time to read some of your names. But while I do that, we got almost 70 people in here watching. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Go ahead and smash that like button. We only got 25 likes. So a lot of you watching right now have not clicked that just yet. That's that four-fingered mitten right there below. So make sure you guys go ahead and smash it. Let's go ahead and look at some names here. I did see, and my poll is covering up this morning, and we'll talk about the poll here in just a second. We might have another poll come later on in the show because some of you guys don't even like this poll, but that's all right. I did see that 88 Ace and who was it? 88 Ace and Elo Brown were our first two commenters. I had to remember. Nice. I typed it in chat, but I had to remember. All right, let's see who else is here, though, this morning. We got Crypto Pew Pew Cruz in the house. Bob is here, also as Bobby. That's what that capital B on the back end of his name is for. Love seeing him in here. Rick Wilson is here. Crypto JMP. Elliot Locke is here. Crypto AI. Crypto Ben Franklin, everyone's favorite non-president. And you know what? We need to hear from Ben Franklin a little bit, especially with everything going on in our country right now. I'd be very interested to hear what real Ben Franklin would think about watching what our country is doing here in the United States. Let us know what you think, Crypto Ben Franklin, because you represent the name now. So you gotta wear it proud. Curtis Rorick is also here. Mike Play saying TA Tuesday. Eric Wallen right below him saying Tim is back. I love seeing you guys. GS is here. Joe Nickel, Philly Skills 1428. Who else do we have? Cryptex with the blue wrench. Man, I haven't got to talk to Cryptex in a long time. I miss Cryptex. Great dude right there. Make sure you guys, if you get a chance to talk to him, you'd spend every second you can. One of the coolest guys we have here in the Investing Bros community. Who else we have? Justin Eubanks, Tizzo Cars, and hashtag Crypto Dollars. What a name. Love it. Love it, Tizzo. Great to see you here. Who else do we have? T-shirt with the blue wrench is here. Crypto Trades is here. Crypto Trappa. Uptex Claymore saying he's not even going to vote on the poll. I understand, man. Some people just do not like their meme coins. To be fair, I will admit I don't own any meme coins. So Uptex, I might be right there with you. It is fun to watch them, though, and see what they do. Ninja Glock. Let's see here. OBC, Sir Mugiwara. Pronounced wrong probably for the 400th time. Max PP, a mellow fellow, and let's get like 3 more here. Angie Evans, let's see, a lot of names I've read already. Metal Family, and last one we're going to read. Wow, Wunder, is that like a German? Wunder saying yo Timmy, probably not. But guys, if I did not read your name, I'm so sorry. It's not because I don't love you. It's because it's time to get in on this fantastic show we're about to have. Starting off with Piper's economic update of the day. Piper, what should we be expecting maybe over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks? What's happening in the economic front?
Jumping over here. There we go. Had to get it moving there. Had to click macro news and click my mouse there. So, all right. So looking here, guys, looking at the economic calendar for the week, we're gonna have the not a lot of info today. We do have somebody from the Fed, Barkin, speaking today. Not really sure that's gonna have too much impact. They're kind of a low lying fruit in the Fed Reserve. Nothing really big today. Looking at this week, though, the first big event that we're going to have tomorrow is going to be the JOLTS job openings right there. Currently at 9.59 million job openings available in America. The consensus is at 9.3, forecasted at 9.2. We will see if that comes in lower or not. We have seen some labor force things going on, so we'll see. But I'm leaning that this is actually going to come in closer to the 9.5. Just because there's a lot of unfilled jobs in America. So looking at Thursday, we've got the initial jobless claims report's going to be coming in, and then we're going to get into non-farm productivity. Nothing really big that day except for the ISM manufacturing. And then Friday is going to be our unemployment rate. This is going to be a big one right here, guys. Previously, we were at 3.4% unemployment. Consensus and forecast says that we are going to be up 0.1%. So coming in at 3.5 there. And then participation rate, curious to see if we have a lot of percentage of Americans still participating or if this goes down with the recent labor numbers that we had. So we'll see. Right now, it is at 62.6% of all working age people in America are participating in the labor force. So there we go. That's what we have for that. Let's go ahead and jump over into Trueflation. Trueflation today coming in neutral here, guys. Still sitting at 2.84, more than 2% under what the federal government is reporting on our Trueflation. So, and last but not least, because I like to go over it with you guys and show you the sorrows and pains of being a trader here. This is Bitcoin liquidations for the past 24 hours. $10 million worth of longs have been liquidated. 5 million worth of shorts have been liquidated. So that's what we're seeing. Early this morning when I first checked this, the shorts were hurting a lot. But now it looks like with the little pullback, some people FOMO'd in at the last minute, leaving us with a bunch of liquidations. And lastly, looking at liquidation for longs on Ethereum coming in at 5.4 million. A lot of people getting wrecked on shorts as it pumped up a little bit harder than Bitcoin this morning. And a majority of those occurring on Binance. So Binance out there making money. I'm just saying. That's what I got, Tim. Let's kick it back over to you for the FOMC.
Yeah, well, we got our FOMC meeting coming up in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow, so we got 15 days left, and you guys will notice the balance has shifted here a little bit. We are now looking at a 65.4% chance of a 25 basis point rate hike. So We thought that they were going to be done. And to be fair, there's still 2 weeks left, and we need to hear some more from Jerome Powell. And I'm going to speculate on this in just a second. But right now, it is looking like they're going to go above what they said by getting to 5 to 5.25 and pausing. They might look for even more. And that has to do with, we're going to talk about it probably later too, but this deal made between Biden and McCarthy to raise the debt ceiling by, I believe the number, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but $4 trillion. Let's just pause on this for a second. Piper, you can go back to my face. Let's think about this, guys. We're raising the debt ceiling, but we still have an inflation problem. Maybe not as bad as the UK, but let's be fair, that's just atrocious what's happening over there. My apologies and condolences to all of our UK fans. In the United States, we're still trying to tackle inflation of the US dollar, and then we're going to raise the debt ceiling, which means we're going to print more money, which means your dollar that you're holding right now in your bank account or your wallet is going to get less valuable. And at the same time, they're going to continue to raise interest rates, making it even harder for you to borrow money. Tell me something that is more of an FU to the average American citizen or somebody who holds US dollars than what we are seeing the government do right now. This is a ridiculously egregious form of stealing money from the poor to feed the rich. Guess what? The rich, the elite, the wealthy, the government, they have not handled their money very well, but they don't play by the same rules as us. They're running out of money. Hey, let's just print more, and then let's make it harder for other people to borrow money so that we can build our wealth and they can continue to stand in the mud, in the slums, and struggle. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I just want to make sure you guys understand my opinion on that. I'm sure you guys share that same thing. But in case anyone was confused and thinking, hey, what does all this mean? This means the government just said, we don't have enough money. Let's take some money from some more poor people. That's exactly what they just did. Moving on, though, to some other things. You can go back and share my screen again here, Piper. The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index this morning is sitting at 51, just a little bit down from yesterday's 52, up from last week's 50. We kind of did have a kind of a hovering. It kind of stayed boring a little bit here last week over the last 7 days. You guys can see, yeah, pretty much a straight line. If we go back to the last month, we had some volatility before we flattened out here. So Bitcoin's kind of sitting in a spot where it's waiting to see what will happen next. And this kind of brings us into our next section. That is our technical analysis. We're going to be doing some TA, but I want to give a special shout out, guys, to Chart Prime. You guys have known them. If you've been watching the channel now for a while, you guys know that we love Chart Prime. You guys know we use it on everything we do here. But if you guys are going to notice, you're going to see my charts a little bit different. You're going to see when Piper does his TA, the chart's a little different. Chart Prime just came out with a bunch of new changes to their indicators that make them phenomenal. I am still learning them, to be honest with you guys. So you're not going to see a lot of crazy new things from me, maybe a couple, but Piper will have some new ones. And then as we keep going on, you'll see some more. It's absolutely killing the game what Chart Prime is doing. The team that they are assembling is amazing. This is something you guys do not want to miss out on because it already is, in my honest opinion. But if it's not already, it will be the number one indicator out there for trading crypto. You do not want to miss it. Make sure you sign up with the link down below. But let's talk some Bitcoin TA here and look at what's happening this morning. You didn't get a lot of my TA last week, so we're going to cover some ground here. We've been talking about this for a while now. We've been in this falling trading channel here on Bitcoin. That's that red line right here that's falling, this blue line that's falling, and technically this goes all the way back to early April of this year. Now, something that we just saw happen here. I'm going to start off with a little bullish, then we'll get into some potential concerns that I have about Bitcoin price right now. But we have now just entered the stage where we are looking for a breakout. Traditionally, we do see these falling trading channels, similar to falling wedges, end up breaking to the upside. Doesn't mean it happens every single time. They absolutely can break to the downside. But more often than not, we do see them break to the upside. And when we're looking at things like what we have with the debt ceiling and other macroeconomic things, I think that we will see Bitcoin break to the upside. The question is when, not so much if. Technically, that if is still there, but I think it's a matter of when. And the point of that one is we could literally have it happen at any time. Whenever you're looking at formations, this isn't a rule that applies 100% of the time. We definitely see things break earlier than this. But a lot of times you are looking for a breakout to happen between the 5th and 7th wave. And this last touch right here was the end of our 5th wave inside of this trading channel with 3 touches of our support level, 3 touches of our resistance level. Can it break out before this? Absolutely. Can it break out way after this? Can we see the price of Bitcoin end up falling back down? Do we see this potentially keep bouncing? we could absolutely see this. It's not very common. More often than not, we see it happen between wave 5 and wave 7. So keep your eyes out on this. We're getting a lot of flashes. I'm going to talk about this more in a second. A lot of flashes of overbought. We're going to pull up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to pull up Fibonacci. But there is a small chance that we're able on this fifth wave to go ahead and break to the upside. And if we were to do so, a breakout with this formation would send the price of Bitcoin all the way up to about $32,000. We do this by measuring the opening of the channel, and then we move this over to our breakout spot, and this would give us a price up here, not quite 32. It's about 31,500, give or take. But of course, when you start to bring in flat levels of support and resistance, you start to get pulled, and the magnet starts pulling it towards that 32,000. Should be an interesting spot to watch for the next price level of Bitcoin. Now, that's if we make a breakout right here. Of course, that changes if we end up coming back to the downside, like I just said. Did I grab my marker? No, I did not. There we go. If we end up breaking to the downside and then break up here, now, of course, we're probably looking closer towards that 31,000. So definitely keep your eyes on what is happening there. Let's get rid of this fifth wave for just a second, and I'll make sure I don't delete the wrong thing. There we go. All right. Let's talk about maybe a little bit of concerns here on Bitcoin, because like I said, even though that's the fifth wave and we could see a breakout, we are sitting at resistance, and we have confluence of resistance with a lot of other indicators as well. This is the traditional chart prime oscillator right here. You guys know that I love it. We're on the 4-hour chart right here. Of course, right here, just a couple of candles ago, we got an overbought with a red reversal triangle. But let's even go out here to the daily chart and see what's happening out here. Yeah, when you're seeing bearish flashes on the daily chart, that's where it's starting to get a little bit more serious. And even though we don't have an overbought flash, which is a bullish thing, we do have a red reversal triangle lining up perfectly with our reversal band, our rejection band of the resistance. Also coming down to the 12-hour chart. You guys know that we love the 12-hour chart. Tells us a lot. We have a double flash over here, an overbought with a red triangle telling us when we hit this line, hey, this is some dangerous territory. You guys have been watching me for a while and know that this is one of my favorite signals to look at to either sell or to buy in accumulation phases. So that brings us to our next spot right here, is this accumulation or consolidation. When we're looking over here, I'm going to let Piper explain this more a little bit later, but there's a really cool box that Chart Prime has that actually tells you, are you consolidating or are you potentially moving bullish or bearish? I'm going to save that one for a little later. Let Piper talk about that. But one thing you guys should know about this is while we're seeing these overbought flashes, these red triangles, the fact that we also see some bullish things coming into the situation, we also see when bulls take advantage and they take control, we start to ignore these flashes. So keep your eyes on that. I absolutely could see two things happening, and I know some people don't love this when we do TA, but I absolutely could see us rejecting right here and coming back down to 25.2. If I were to go back out to the daily chart, that would send us probably back down towards our dynamic reactor, maybe a little bit below it. Maybe we don't get to 25.2 this time. Maybe we only come, let's do this again. Maybe we only come down to the dynamic reactor right here around the price, I don't know, about 25.8 or so, and then we bounce to the upside. I don't think we're going to see a touch of this blue line happen again. That's my personal opinion. We will have to wait and see. But if we don't make a breakthrough on this resistance right here, keep an eye on the dynamic reactor on the daily chart for another bounce point. Let's take a look at our fixed range volume profile while we're looking at this, though, and there's two things I want to take a look at. Let's look at back since the beginning of this year, back since the beginning of quarter one, going all the way back to January 1st, right there. All right. You're going to notice here, if we go all the way back to January 1st, we also just rejected on the value area high. So this is a bad thing in terms of like, hey, we rejected, but good thing of we are retesting the value area high would be very bullish, not only to get out of this trading channel, but also to break above that value area high. If we were to zoom this in and only look at quarter two, let's go to April 1st here. Where are we? Boom, right here. You're going to see, instead of it being at value area high, we just hit our point of control. So this is just adding even more validity to this area, that it is something that is not only the descending level of resistance that we're hitting our heads on, but some key volume areas as well, that if the bulls want to gain control, they need to go ahead and break that level. With that said, there's probably a whole lot more I could talk about on Bitcoin, but I think that I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with that. And I put this post out on Twitter last night that I'm going to kind of refresh with you guys. I want you guys to know, it is okay, and it is very possible to be both bullish and believe that 25.2 will be hit again. I see this happen all the time. People think that someone's flip-flopping because one day they're talking about a bullish price action and the next day they're talking about a bearish price action. I'm in a spot right now where I am bullish. I think that the bottom of Bitcoin is in, and I don't even necessarily think that 25.2 is about to be hit. Like I just mentioned, even I think this daily dynamic reactor is going to be holding up strong. One thing I want to check while I'm thinking about it, let's look at the SMAs as well. I think that here on the daily chart, I think being above both the dynamic reactor and the 100 SMA are both massive bullish moves for Bitcoin. Now, that does not mean, though, I don't think we're hitting 25.2 down the road. Turn that off. I still think I told you guys 50,000. I've kind of weaned off of 50,000. I think we just waited a little too long. I think that the cards didn't play out right for us to repeat what happened back in 2019. But I'm still looking here and saying I believe that we could get back up to some other Fibonacci levels. Let me take down my oscillator for just a second, and let's pull up Fibonacci right here. Going back to the all-time high we had back in November of 2021, and I didn't get it perfectly, but who cares? We're going to go down to the bottom here. That is the current bottom of the bear market. What I'm looking for right now, guys, instead of a visit to the golden pocket before a big dip, I'm watching this $36,000 to $42,000 range right here. I think there's still a decent chance that Bitcoin makes a pop-up to 36, maybe even gets up to 42, and then makes a pullback to 25,200 before the real bull market starts, more than likely at earliest late this year, but realistically probably February, March of next year, and then we see the real bull market start. What this means, guys, is I still am bullish on Bitcoin. First of all, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin long term, but I'm even bullish on it more shorter term. That does not mean, though, that I do not think the price 25,200 will not be retested. This is, in fact, possible, guys, to be both bullish and think that the price could be bought at a lower level than what we're currently sitting at and still be thinking coherently. With that said, though, before I throw it over to Piper, what time do I got? A couple minutes here. I definitely wanted to take a look at the Cardano chart this morning as well, because T-Shroom's going to get into it with the news section. Cardano had some great stuff happening. A lot of that thanks to two of those meme coins, Banker Coin and SNEC. You can love them, you can hate them, but you cannot deny the fact that they brought some interesting details that T-Shroom's going to cover here last week. From a chart perspective, when I'm looking on Cardano, guys, this isn't a perfect trading channel. Technically speaking, it's a rising wedge. And the reason I know this is because if I were to duplicate this support level, which we do have 3 touches on, by the way, I'm going to clone it. It doesn't quite give me the clean touches that I want right here. So notice if I were to anchor it back here with this point, I do not get a touch right here. So this was not a channel. Oh, come on, Tim. Hit the wrong buttons. There we go. It's not a channel, but if you were to connect these 3 lines right here, there's only one of these touches I really care about, but we do have a little bit of it's technically a wedge, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it calling a channel. This gives us a point to keep our eyes on with Cardano price. We do have a lot of bullish things happening. You're going to see some reversal stuff too. Same as Bitcoin. We do have a red reversal triangle on the daily chart, but we also got 2 bottom seekers, peak seekers here with our blue little dots here on the chart prime oscillator. Keep your eyes on those. Those dots are not cheap to come out here and print. When those dots happen, they're not perfect, it's not 100%, but they are significant. I think Cardano still has room to the upside. Of course, we also broke out of our falling wedge here just a little bit ago. That gives us a price prediction up here towards 42 cents. But if we were to stay inside this channel and look for a 5th wave, remember I talked about a 5th wave over here, guys, on Bitcoin. Same thing with Cardano. We're going to call that wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Now we've come down here. We've touched the support level once again, wave 4. If we were to take a 5th wave, more than likely it's coming somewhere in the area of about 50 cents. And I have my phone dinging. I don't know if they can hear that or not, but rookie move, Tim, to not turn your phone sound off. But I'm looking at this spot right here. I put this on Twitter this morning too. I think that 50 cents on Cardano could be a very interesting spot. Of course, that would be the high for this year, but it would be staying within this trading channel. Of course, you got to keep your eyes on some other levels as well. You could probably pull a magnet up and say 52 for a wick. I think that this level of resistance is going to stay strong for candle bodies, but potentially we even get a wick up to 52 cents. Keep your eyes on this, but this on the charts mixed with what T-Shroom is going to talk about in the news, Cardano could have itself a very, very good summer. And I'm not talking about new all-time highs yet. And I'm not even necessarily, I know we've talked about 70 cents in the past, kind of when Bitcoin's 50,000 kind of got a little bit slimmer. I had to do some rearranging on Cardano and Ethereum as well. I think 70 cents right now on Cardano is asking a little much, not impossible, but 50 cents, maybe even 60 cents, you might still have a chance of that happening. But we do need to keep our expectations realistic. That being said, I'm going to go and throw it over to Piper for some Ethereum TA or anything else he wants to say. And I definitely want him to comment a little bit more on these new oscillators, this new patterns on Chart Prime that are phenomenal at making some trading calls.
Awesome, Tim. Thanks. Appreciate it, brother. So yeah, let's look at Ethereum here. I'm on an 8-hour chart right now, guys, and you can see here that Ethereum bumping up currently. Let's go ahead and turn off all the other indicators for now, just to show you what I'm focusing on here. Ethereum right now trying to make a run up again to the 887, the top of the platinum pocket. Had its rejection on there on Sunday, came down a little bit, got a little bounce there. If we actually take a look at the 4-hour here and throw on the market oracle and the market dynamics, you'll see that this wick came down to a breaker block here for a retest, and that was its bounce point after it had a reversal print. What these breaker blocks are, guys, these are, so we got the order blocks here, which talk about the liquidity. You can see that up here, we've got high liquidity still at this point that we made back in May, on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. And then we have a couple of medium liquidity blocks that are sitting below us right now. Once the liquidity is pretty much wiped out, it just becomes a breaker block. So they still play as support right there, getting a nice bounce up before we come back up there again. And then let's go ahead and see what we're looking at on the 8-hour here again. Let me get rid of that nice little brush mark there. There we go. Get rid of that. So right now what I'm looking at, and I saw this on ADA also, Tim, is this blue wave right here that you see on the Trend Fusion Oscillator. This is money flow. This is the MFI, and it is showing that money flow is coming into Ethereum right now. The trend is still looking strong. That's what this green wave is here. However, on the traditional oscillator, Chart Prime Oscillator Pro, we did have the downtrend and we had a bearish divergence print. So a lot of competition going on here with this little drop down that hit that breaker block I showed you and came back up. Bears and bulls are at war right now as we speak. What I do want to show here is that we have not had reversal pop up on, this is a new free indicator. You guys can all get this for free. You don't have to pay for it at all. It's from Chart Prime. Just go into indicators, type in Chart Prime, because now it is completely all listed, and you will see right here RSI primed, absolutely free indicator, guys. And what it does is it turns the RSI line into candlesticks, and then when there is a pattern detected in the volume and the activity, the reaction of the relative strength index to price action, it will actually create candlestick patterns from Chart Prime's coding there. And so you can see that right here at this candle right there, we actually had an engulfing candle print on the prime RSI, and that was pretty much the bottom there. We did come back and retest that again. However, still running good with the buy indicator. And right now we are outside of our chart patterns here, giving us a confirmation with that red X there, almost coming down for a perfect retest there on it, and on its way up it goes. So I think that Ethereum is going to have a good run up today. If you guys look at this green line right here, and if we are able to make it through the 887 and we don't get rejected on the breaker block, I could see us coming up to hit this green trend line. What this green trend line is here is called prime ranges, guys. It's a powerful trading indicator, simplifies the market analysis by providing real-time market sentiment. And so it gives you basically the dynamic reactors, or the prime ranges, the predictive ranges, now into a trend mode. So yeah, we've got the support right here that we broke through. It used to be resistance, and this was one of those prime ranges. And now the next one is going to be coming up right here at about almost $2,000, possibly aligning with this upper order block. So if we are able to make it through the 887 and this breaker block, be watching for this prime range to be touched along with the low liquidity that's left up here at this order block on the chart there. So what else do we got here? Let's see. Let's go jump over into some XRP from my XRP army out there. If you are an XRP investor and you've got a lot sitting in your wallet, go ahead and drop an X down in the chat because it lets me know that I'm not alone in this world of XRP. It seems like every show I go on, everyone is a hater of XRP, and I just can't help but love it. It's great reward potential there. So right now, rejecting on the 8-hour, guys. 2 8-hour candles here being rejected on the 786. And that's what I'm trying to watch to see if we can break through this. If we can, get back up there. I'm going to be watching for around this 51 cent mark, but ultimately the 52.8 is what I'm going to be watching for. No, don't go to Ben. Thank you. It's for its rejection point, guys. I would, if we can make it through that again, then we're going to be looking to go back and retest this order block up here, which has very high liquidity. Evidently, a lot of people got into XRP at the top of this run up. So not good for those guys. They're probably waiting very patiently for us to hit back up here again. So I do want to jump into Ben real fast just to give you a little look on that because we've had a lot of people watching Ben and seeing what it's doing. A lot of downside guys today. Let's see here from its point here down to where it's at now. It is about a 53% drop. And now it looks like it's trying to either make another curvature for more downside, or maybe it's going to find support and start reversing up. But BitBoy was talking about some stuff yesterday coming out on Ben. So we'll see if that loyalty token and that decentralized exchange that's going to be locking liquidity for Ben is going to play out. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for XRP. That's what I'm seeing for Ben. And that's what I am seeing for ETH today. Kicking it back to you, Tim.
Awesome. Well, we're about to jump into our market, or not. It says market open. Okay, well, we have our community thing as well. We do T-shirt. Are we doing market open before community? I thought we had those reversed. Okay. Well, guess what, guys? I'm going to ask one question in chat. There was a question in chat, and I'm going to throw it over to T-shirt to do our market open here. You take a week off the show, you forget the flow. It's just how we go over here. But Greg Fogarty, I believe is how you say that name, asked a good question. And I'm not going to give an answer to it because I don't think I know the answer to it. But he said, hey, Tim, as a Canadian, where would be the best place to buy Cardano? I used to use Binance, which is leaving soon. Thanks. Love the show. And I believe Elo Brown, who's also Canadian, a good friend of ours, he went ahead and answered that question. But I wanted to even say this for everybody else who maybe has questions just like this. This is a great way and reason that you guys should be joining our absolutely free Investing Bros Discord. Yes, there are paid levels. Yes, you can get into some more access to T-Shirt, Piper, myself with our Patreon. But even just the free version of our Discord, when we say we're the most generous channel, that doesn't just mean we want to, we're not taking a single dollar. Every dollar we make on this channel, we're using to either make better content or giving out to charity. But it's also because we have such a collaborative community that's so easy to talk to. If we don't know something, that people ask us, we do the research because we want to help people succeed. And that's not just the three of us. That's everybody who's in our community. So make sure you guys, if you're not already, Greg, make sure go join that Discord. We'll talk about that more in here in a second. But first, I'm throwing it over to T Shroom for the market open. Go ahead and smash those likes, everybody. We got over 100 people watching. We definitely can get some more likes in there. T Shroom, go ahead and take it away.
All right, guys. Absolutely. Definitely hit those likes. I've got Tesla pulled up right here, primed and ready, because it is up almost 4% here in the first 3 minutes. Now it ticked into 4%. We'll go ahead and look at the rest of mega cap tech here as it's responding to the market open. Microsoft green, Apple up 1.2%, Google actually down 0.4%, and Meta up 1%. Amazon doing pretty well there, up 2%. And NVIDIA, oh my gosh, NVIDIA crushing it, up another 4.3%, guys. You want to see parabolic? Look at this freaking chart right here. Had a crazy gap up to the upside on, was it Thursday or Friday? I think it was Thursday of last week, up 26%. And now it's just gapped up again, guys. Obviously not by the same percentage, but it is well within this premium level here from Chart Prime, the market that's called Market Dynamics Pro now. So that is kind of starting to make me question, is this thing starting to get too hot? And by this thing, I mean NVIDIA. Let's go ahead and scroll on up to energy, where we usually start. Energy coming down pretty hard here. Natural gas down 4%, as well as oil down 4%. This is actually very low for oil. This is a pretty sharp sell-off for oil coming up. Could not get up above 73 $50 per barrel there, and it got rejected and is now pushing back down lower. So the finance minister of Saudi Arabia's claims not coming to fruition quite yet, as we're seeing oil take some time to move to the upside. All right, seeing the indexes generally opening up green here. You've got the S&P. I made some changes, so you've got the S&P here, you've got the Nasdaq here, and you've got the Dow Jones here. The Dow Jones, the only red name on the day, and the Nasdaq is leading there. So we'll keep scrolling along here, and we shall see. Goodness gracious, green across the screen, here for crypto. Chainlink and Optimism Chain being the only ones that are bucking that trend and remaining red, so that I can't say perfectly green across the screen. But FET.AI and AGIX, your AI names, believe it or not, your AI names are actually leading the crypto market here by quite a margin. AGIX up 8.7% and FET up a similar amount. I'm going to keep moving here, guys, into the metals. Gold up 0.5% and silver is actually red on the day, down 0.3% there. So we did our mega cap tech stocks. We're not going to do them again. Let's keep moving here. Your bond yields are pretty mixed. Your shorter term bond yields are coming up. And then the further down the chain, they're coming down with your benchmark 10-year coming down 0.5% there. So bonds are actually getting bought today. My guess is that is kind of on the news that the debt ceiling is coming to a conclusion here, as they've reached a deal. We'll get to here in just a second in the news. But also Tilray and the cannabis sector making a little bit of a comeback, had a sharp sell-off last week, and it's making a little bit of a comeback. Green is green across the screen. Oh man, look at this. C3.ai up quite a bit here, up 12.8%, and then Coin up 10%. So Coinbase doing really, really well this morning. Love to see that, as well as Robinhood, and just a green across the screen here for the mid-cap tech stocks. Banks mixed, really tepid, not much movement there. Can't really get up above 0.5 any of these down to the up or the downside, although Goldman is red. And then your big oil companies, of course, as we saw, oil really taking a hard hit, down more than 4%. Your oil producers are feeling that weakness in oil. So that is going to be your update here. I'd say, even though you had some assets outperforming, I think Tesla here is impressing me the most. It takes a lot to move a big float like this, and man, it is really, really moving to the upside. And what I'll point out here, guys, on the stock side, is look how much more that Tesla has to run to its all-time highs, right? It's got another 100% almost exactly right now from where it's priced. Whereas Google actually has almost come back and reached its levels. So Google only has 30% of 20% back to its all-time highs. I will point out that Apple is almost there. It's like maybe 3 or 5% off. Yeah, less than 3% off its all-time highs, guys. Yes, let that sink in. Apple is 2.5 off its all-time highs. So just be thinking about that, where we are in the market cycle. Is it time maybe for a correction here in these NASDAQ names, in these big tech names, potentially, or maybe this tech story, this AI boom will continue to push these tech names higher. But I think the big takeaway for you guys here is that if you are partial to investing in stocks, Tesla is not looking too bad here, especially if it can push up above this. I can draw it out for you guys here, especially if Tesla can push up above this downtrending line of support here. And it looks like it already has. If you want to draw it like this, it looks like it has pushed up above that. So, just kind of buttresses my point there, gives a little more support. All right, well, that's going to be our market open here, guys. Definitely bullish, very bullish, green across the screen on crypto. And you can't ask for a much better market open after a 3-day holiday here in the United States than that. So back to you guys. Would start off in the community section.
Thank you so much, T. Shroom. Yeah, let's go ahead and share my screen here, Piper. We were talking about crypto and we're talking about the stocks, but let's look at the Investing Bros channel. We're in consolidation at the moment, guys. So it's been a brutal last month. With my transition moving up here to Georgia, then we had the Bitcoin conference, then we have the birth of Brody. Now T Shroom is deciding. Oh, we also had Piper had a vacation because he thinks he deserves a vacation, and then T Shroom decided to join the military, and now he's going to be out for like 2.5 weeks doing push-ups and running for funds, kicks and giggles. So the channel, you guys have been amazing as well. We've been in a little bit of a lull. You guys know we have a goal right here. We have a goal of hitting 4,000 by the end of June. This is going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot from us. It's going to take a lot from you guys. We need your help, making sure you're here every single day watching, smashing the like, commenting below, sharing with your friends, making sure everybody knows about Investing Bros. But that's where we're sitting at right now today. 3,300 subscribers. We need 700 more, technically 692 by the next month to get our goal. Speaking of the Discord we talked about earlier, we're still hovering right there at 208 members. Make sure, guys, you are in this Discord. It is extremely, extremely valuable. You do not want to miss it. We also have our Patreon. You guys can join not only to support the channel, but get more access to us. And again, not a single dollar goes to us. It actually goes back into the channel and back to charity. Checking over on our Twitters this morning, we're at 234 here with the Investing Bros Twitter. Make sure you guys are following these links. Sitting at 234, we're seeing some small growth there. I'm sitting at 8,361. Every time I make some growth, then bots get deleted or something. I don't know. I've been hovering here for a little minute. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter as well. T-Shroom hovering right here at 4,500 and Piper here at 223. Make sure you guys are going and following all of our channels. You're with us on Discord. You're with us here on YouTube. We're going to be doing a lot more even on Twitter. We've been saying this for a while, and I think once T-Shroom gets back, we're finally going to be executing. You have my screen now, Piper. We're going to be executing, starting to do some Twitter spaces, some really cool stuff that we can get done over there. Like I said, though, T-Shroom is about to leave us here later this week until about the 18th or so, 18th or 19th, because he loves push-ups so much. Anything you want to say about that, T-Shroom?
So much.
Seriously, guys. I mean, today I got probably two more days that'll still be on the show. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on Thursday, but on Thursday I will be asking you guys to pray for me genuinely, because it is going to be a grueling time for me. But I've been preparing and I'm ready. I've done everything I can to be ready. So, yeah,
good stuff.
Physically ready? Are you psychologically ready? Because I think you're going to get destroyed psychologically.
I think psychologically I'm more prepared than I am physically. Let's put it
I think some majors and captains are going to make you mentally go back into a fetal position for a bit. So
yeah, I think it's possible. But I'm very confident. I know that I've got a great family in the Investing Bros to come back to. And I think I'm going to be able to get out there and kick butt and do the best I can. But I've got some community announcements to share with you guys. We are putting out our newsletter today. You don't need to go to my screen or anything yet, but we're putting out our newsletter. Crux and I have been working really hard on that one. And I've got an important farewell T-Shroom take today in the newsletter. So definitely be tuning into that. And thank you guys so much for supporting us there. And then our final, well, maybe not final, but our next community announcement, and Piper, you can go to my screen for this one. SSM Crypto is going to be on the show tomorrow, joining us tomorrow to talk about CBDCs in Nigeria. So if you guys don't know, he's part of the Crypto Gem Hunters, who we have on the show often. Crypto Seth, Crypto Archie, love those guys. SSM is part of that crew. He's super cool. He's actually known for picking a couple of gems that have done really, really well. And he lives in Nigeria, and I believe he's grew up there. So he's going to be able to come on and tell. What's up?
Not even going to mention that I'm also a gem hunter.
Well, Piper, you are a gem hunter, but yeah, I forgot. So I'm sorry about that.
Don't worry, that's what he meant.
So Nigeria has had a CBDC, and recently, as of last week, I think it was Monday, they're moving to cancel that CBDC. So we're going to have SSM on to talk about kind of the implications of that and what that's going to mean for Nigeria, and what we can extrapolate to what the rest of the world is going to do with their CBDCs as a result. And guys, we've got CBDCs in the news today, and we're going to get to them here in just a second. But Bros, is there any more community announcements?
The next community announcement is it is time to jump into headlines.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to start off with Cardano here, guys. Charles Hoskinson reveals exciting vision for Cardano this summer. Let's get into some of the details, some of the quotes of what he said. Hoskinson has a wide-ranging plan for the upcoming summer. By forming strategic alliances, he hopes to decentralize the Cardano network further. This should improve its smart contract functionality and broaden the project's ecosystem. Cardano hopes to establish itself as a scalable, safe, and long-lasting blockchain platform by meeting these goals. The other detail I've got highlighted here is he did not want to reveal any spoilers, but stated these improvements might help the blockchain's native token, ADA, maybe you've heard of it, outperform Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of the other cryptocurrencies. So, quite a statement there from Hoskinson. Let's go ahead and get into the next story here. We're not leaving crypto certainly, but we're also not leaving Cardano. Staying on the ADA chain here, Cardano transactions spike 1.5 million as Snake, some pronounce it Snek, rallies to all-time high. This is pretty exciting. With notable advancements in deploying smart contracts, climbing DeFi ranks, and introducing innovative protocols, Cardano has captured the crypto community's attention, especially that of whales. However, what sets it apart this time is the unexpected emergence of meme coins, especially Snake, which have come out of nowhere to reshape the network in unprecedented ways. And those ways, of course, is going to be pushing those transactions up above 1.5 million. So it's pretty wild stuff, guys. Let's see if we can get into some of the details here. On April 29th, the meme coin's price has skyrocketed over 300%. In the past week alone, the token's price catapulted. I thought I was going to say capitulated, catapulted by 140%, helping it become one of the top coins in the Cardano ecosystem. So, according to Miniswap, so that is very much boosting, the Cardano name as a meme coin is really taking off here on the Cardano chain. Now, some of you guys don't like meme coins. That's okay. For those of you who guys maybe you're not on Cardano very much, you're not using Cardano. Or as Ron DeSantis likes to say, you don't do Cardano. He said that about Bitcoin, which is maybe showing his hand about how crypto educated he actually is. But anyway, this is taptools.io. And so if you don't do Cardano very much, maybe you want to come over here and check out. It's got trending NFTs, and it's got trending tokens, of which Bank and Snake are on the top there. All right. But we'd be remiss. It's up almost 8% today, if not more. But the highest market cap coin there on Cardano is AGIX. So very interesting.
I had to throw that out there for the bankers. The bankers.
It.
The bankers 11 bank coin. I talked about it yesterday on Debate Crypto and they blew up in the chat. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's take a click on it. And check out their page on Tap Tools. You can see this freaking chart is just through the roof and it's having a little bit of a pullback right now. So, maybe something to consider looking into. Full disclosure, I do not hold bank and I probably won't buy it before I go to phase 1 of the military. All right, moving on into our debt ceiling coverage here. I've got the BBC pulled up. BBC is who we're turning to for the news on the U.S. debt ceiling. What's in the U.S. debt ceiling deal and who won? So let's go ahead and get into some of these details here. They have reached an agreement, but it has not been signed off yet. So that is kind of where we are. And these are some of the things that were covered in the bill. So this is Investing Bros. So people who are invested need to know how, especially on the economic front, how this bill is actually being fleshed out here. So caps on spending, but not defense. Unspent pandemic funds returned. Welfare tinkered with, but no overhaul. And funds to enforce tax rules on wealthy Americans. That was seen as a Republican win. The welfare one was kind of seen as a Democrat win, White House win. And then things that are not in the deal are tax hikes, which it says House Democrats will be fuming about. Fuming, a British term for being angry. You may have been able to deduce that yourself, but I got a rise out of Tim, which is why I did it. All in all, guys, here, you're starting to see what we have all been predicting. there's not going to be some crazy catastrophe. These two gentlemen here, fearless leaders, just really doing the right thing by the American people and helping us get into more trillions of debt. So, more of the same. Terrible, unwise news is good news here for the U.S., as reported by BBC.com. Well, there's also drilling in. We talked about no tax hikes. There's also this deal to avoid the U.S. debt default. Nix's proposed 30% crypto mining tax, says an Ohio lawmaker. That definitely would raise a cheer from your boy T. Shroom. Under the proposed bill, there would be a 2-year suspension of the debt ceiling, allowing the U.S. government to continue to borrow money and settle its debts. And Davidson also said that the bill blocked proposed tax, including a 30% tax on electricity used by cryptocurrency miners. So that is definitely a silver lining in all this, guys, is the Republicans, specifically, I don't know if Davidson was the one going to bat. He's just the one quoted here, but Republicans have definitely gone to bat against this taxes. Now, you could say a little cynically, well, Republicans just hate taxes in general. They don't necessarily love crypto. Well, you can make that cynical claim, but I think we are starting to see a little bit of a partisan divide, and it's kind of clear for you, hopefully, by this point. Moving on into our next headline here, Bankman-Fried. Charges should not be tossed, prosecutors say. So some things moving in the direction of favor for people who've been burned by FTX in a file and want to see justice for not for SBF, want to see justice served to SBF. In a filing late Monday, prosecutors described motions to dismiss the charges as meritless. The indictment sufficiently alleges that the defendant and his co-conspirators made false and misleading representations to lenders relating to Alameda's financial condition. No more specificity is required, prosecutors wrote. So he's not getting out on that. Those are some sneaky snake tactics by his legal team there, but don't seem to be working against the legal system here. Optimism and Sui are set for large token unlocks worth a combined 650 million. Let's get through this one. Ethereum Layer 2 network Optimism is seeing the largest unlock according to Token Unlocks, with 387 million tokens set to be released on May 31st, worth just under 600 million. This represents 9% of the total supply of tokens and a 114% increase to the current circulating supply. So getting to the tokenomics there, the tokens will primarily be split between core contributors and investors. So probably not you and me. All right, moving into Sui unlock. The Layer 1 blockchain Sui will see a much smaller token unlock of 61 million tokens on June 31st. Going to cut it off there, guys, because we need to get into these CBDC stories. The ECB has finalized digital euro prototypes as development decision looms. So they've got a vote coming up. The ECB says its potential central bank digital currency can be designed to boost innovation, but appears more skeptical about its Web3 style distributed ledger technology and smart contracts. So then there's a bunch of word salad until you get to the actual design. In June, the European Commission is due to publish a bill covering digital euro, privacy safeguards, and other major issues. But lawmakers have expressed skepticism over the CBDC's benefits, particularly if it doesn't allow for innovation such as programmable money, where users can control how funds are subsequently used. So we're starting to see kind of how the ECB's digital currency may look and whether or not it's going to be rolled out. And they will be voting in June on that. So not a specific date, but something to watch. Well, that doesn't end our coverage of the CBDCs. The Bank of Japan has released a CBDC report and launching its pilot program as other countries gain steam. I've got pulled up here. Oh, I didn't go specifically to the map. Let's see if it'll just pull up. There you go. So you can see here, guys, in green are the countries that have a pilot launched, CBDC pilot launched. In blue and light blue are the countries that are kind of just developing it. So America, Canada, Brazil, and most of Europe, much of Europe. What you will note is that Sweden has had a pilot. Okay. Where's Nigeria? Nigeria has launched, and we're going to learn a lot more about that tomorrow. Nigeria has launched a CBDC. So a pilot is like
canceled. Oh, no,
Yep.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think they would be that up to date quite yet.
No, not yet. Yeah, because Japan's still not showing as a pilot, and it launched a
Yep.
pilot. So, yep.
Ecuador is the only one that has it officially canceled, according to AtlanticCouncil.org. But we did learn last week. Well, that's not true. There's others, Senegal. But we did learn last week that Nigeria's is to be canceled. So anyway, these are the developments here, guys. The big one is that the Bank of Japan, which of course this is, it is updated. They have released their pilot. So very big news there. The ones we don't want to see go green is Europe, the United States, but pretty much all of the other ones, if they go green, it's not that big of a deal. China already is green. India already is green. So, those are big deals that they're green. But anyway, you may disagree with some of the opinions I just purported there. But yeah, so Tim, I want to throw it over to you. Are you seeing what you want to see in terms of CBDCs being rolled out here on the Brocam? Or are you feeling like, things are moving in a bad direction?
Well, what I would want to see is all of those countries be brown, like Argentina. That's Argentina, right down there. My geography is not that bad, is it?
Yes.
Okay, good. I would love to see a lot more brown on there. I'm not surprised by China. Guys, China borderline had the equivalency of a CBDC already with stuff they did. The CBDC is just an upgraded tool of what they were already implementing. I'm not surprised by Russia. To be honest, the way it's going, as sad as it is, I'm not that surprised by Canada. I do want to see Europe and the United States for sure start to get away from it. We're seeing some of those steps be taken by governors here in the States, Florida, Montana, Wyoming, Texas. I believe there's others as well that have already said, you are not bringing a CBDC. It's not going to be tested here in this state. So watch them go to New York and California and ruin them even more, driving every bit of people who have any type of money away from those states and just crushing the economies of those states. I'm hoping that's what ends up turning the United States brown as well. And I'm also hoping, again, I'm a big fan. I've told you guys before, I am not a fan of one issue voting, like single issue voting. I think that people should be voting on as many things as possible. But guess what? Where we're coming to at this point with this next election, I'm leaning towards being a one issue voter with crypto. And the reason why, guys, is not because it's just like, oh, I love crypto, screw everything else. Do you guys not realize how many other things would be solved and fixed if we actually had a good money system? If you don't know, make sure you go read the Bitcoin Standard. He talks about that in detail. Look back to close to 100 years ago when the whole world started going away from gold-backed money that we've been on for thousands of years. Look at all of the problems that have developed within Western society since we went off the gold standard. It's either a coincidence or as that book puts it, it's the reason why we have started to go downhill as people and as our economies is because when you deal with flexible money, when you deal with inflatable money and you don't have solid currency, you start to have some very big problems. So I think it's very important that we elect crypto-friendly people in this next election here in the United States. I think it's important over in Europe, in the UK. You guys, when you have your elections, elect crypto-friendly people, because if you're worried about other situations and other issues, watch them be fixed because we actually have solid money dealing with everything. We did just get a super chat, 2 super chats here. We're going to read both of them. Matt C said, wow, $100. Big hug and congrats, Tim and Tay. So incredibly happy for the three of you. Here's a little something for the diaper supply. Much love, my man. Thank you so much, Matt. The kid needs a diaper supply. I think we do like 12 changes per day. He goes through them like crazy.
12.
Dude, he's maybe more,
serious?
honestly.
12?
I might be, dude, I don't, people that have kids, like I do it was a lot, but it's a lot. There's a lot of changes.
I didn't realize babies were. Carry on.
Well, sometimes you change his diaper and then he literally pees in it immediately upon changing it. Like there's been times where I've changed 2 diapers within 5 minutes. Anyway, let's keep going on though. Crypto Billy says, Billy shares Matt C's well wishes. Here is to you guys. Another $100. Thank you so much, everybody, for donating here. And again, thank you guys for the support. I'm glad to be back, but I'm also very glad to be a new father. And I have much to learn. So you guys give me all the advice you have because I need it. That being said, let's bring back on the news. I think we're actually wrapping the show up for today. We'll talk more about this, though, tomorrow when we do go heavier into these CBDCs. Cannot wait for that episode, but you're going to have to come back and tune in again. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This was the Investing Bros, the most generous crypto community out there on YouTube. With that said, though, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place. You guys have a great day.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.